started to wonder, and I wondered, which led me to wonder. I had to wonder. I started to wonder. I couldn't help but 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 wonder.
What the fuck is up, gamers? We are back again, back at it again at the Krispy Kreme, Sex in the City, City Girls Make Do, your number one Sex in the City podcast, hosted by us. I'm Stephanie, aka Jules.
And I'm Alex, aka Mimi.
And we're bringing you season 6, episode 2 this week. Great Sexpectations.
Oh boy. This episode, honestly, this episode was fine. I miss the puns. I'm glad we have a good pun.
Yeah, I actually thought this episode was pretty fun for the most part. It was like, there's some good moments. Like, in an episode where I think Miranda is probably, like, the least strong character. Well, okay, Carrie is probably the least strong, but, like, Carrie doesn't really count. But, like, that being considered, like, it's probably a pretty good episode. Generally. Yeah. So, yeah, it is good. It's kind of just, I mean, we're still starting off the season with, like, the main plots that are gonna be happening, like Charlotte converting. We also meet Smith this week.
We do. I was so happy to see him. I was so happy. He's the second king. He's the prince. Like, Harry is a king. Smith is a prince.
Yeah, he's really good. I'm excited to see more of him. But yeah, no, it was a good one this week. We also have, like, the Toad Burger, but it's fine.
Toad Burger, not to be confused with Matt Burger, who is not a toad.
True. And we have the Toad Steve as well, but it's fine. It's fine. I guess we can just get into it. Burger and Carrie they're still on their first few dates, and so everything is, like, really fresh and good. And, like, Carrie's in her voiceover, she says everything is foreplay. Like, they're just in restaurants going on dates and, like, talking, and everything is really good.
Yeah. I mean, it's pretty much, she's like, what's even better than the first bites of a burger is the first few dates with Burger. And it's like, oh, fucking shut up.
They really just had to fucking name him that just for this. Like, yeah. It's so much. They also go for a date at Bed Bath & Beyond, and her voiceover is like, I wanted Burger in my Bed Bath & Beyond. And Matt was literally like, Carrie, stop being so horny in public.
Like, she's very horny, and it's not like a restaurant or a bar where it's like, okay, people are horny here. It's a regular store, and he's like, so looking at shower curtains, and there's the one with, like, a map on it, you know, the map of the world, and he's like, oh, I have this one, but there's mold all over China. And she's like, and they thought communism was a problem. I'm like, shut up. Jeez, I hate the fucking pair of you so much.
I hate it so much. And I'm also like, why is there mold all over, like, your curtain? Like, you should clean it, maybe.
Yeah, grow up.
But then they are very much making out at, like, a restaurant after that. They, like, cut to them, there's, like, one point where they're just, like, sitting at a restaurant, and just, like, the restaurant is closing up and, like, turning the lights off, and they're just very much sitting at the table, the only patrons left in the restaurant, just making out, and it's so awkward. It's like, and leave!
The sound mixing, the breathing is so heavy. It's so
gross.
It's so heavy. I remember there was, like, minor controversy in the UK because in Love Island they did, like, the sound mixing, so that the like mouth sounds were very, very loud, and it was gross. But
awful.
this was so much grosser.
Yeah, I didn't like it. I was not a fan. I was like, Carrie, go home. And then they do. They go back to Carrie's place, and they're boning. It's their first time after all this. It is very awkward.
Mm-hmm. As you can probably imagine. But it's more awkward than, like, normal.
Well, yeah, it's definitely way more awkward than any other time we've really, like, without anything going, like, disastrously wrong. It's, like, the most awkward normal sex scene that they have. I extremely thought that he was farting at one point, but it was just the sound of motorcycles outside. I was like, wait a minute, are you kidding me? Because it was just like... But it was like motorcycles, and yeah, anyway.
It wasn't great. I did get like very jealous of them because I was like, oh, I remember obnoxiously making out with people in public places. Oh, that was my favorite thing to do, was to obnoxiously make out with some guy. And
now we can't even be in public at all. So.
No, let alone obnoxiously make out.
No. Carrie and Berger would be doing this even during, like, a shutdown. They'd be going to, like, the only place that's open and just sucking face, probably.
Yeah, they are awful.
Yeah. Then we go to another restaurant, which is called Raw. It's like an evening and the girls are all 4 girls are there. It's like a vegan food place where it's like, I mean, it's like the Raw thing where they don't cook anything over 118 degrees. I guess Fahrenheit.
Yeah,
whatever that temperature is.
I don't know. That's quite low. I have been to a raw vegan restaurant before, and it was really nice. Like, it was really nice food. But they're like the whole time that they eat. I
feel like you just have to order food that you like. There's lots of food you eat that you don't cook.
Yeah, salads.
I mean, yeah, like there is.
Did you guys know that
salads
salads are raw vegan? Because they are.
It's true, as long as you don't put, like, chicken in it, but, like, everything else is, you know, not cooked.
I've been to a raw vegan restaurant. I think I had, like, pasta and with, like, pine nuts and fresh vegetables. It was very nice. I even had a cake afterwards. I mean, maybe because it was, like, the early days of the whole vegan raw thing, but I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway, Charlotte's wearing a gorgeous corset, and Samantha has, like, a purple stole. They look great.
Yeah, they both look really good.
And they're talking about how, you know, obviously they're like, oh, raw vegan food? Disgusting. What are they eating? Leaves? Like
that's what lettuce is, but go off.
I always hate when people are like, what do vegans even eat? Vegetables? And I'm like, do you not eat vegetables? Like...
It's very funny to me. I mean, like, I guess it's more funny to me, I guess, because I'm not, like, vegan or vegetarian, so I can more be like, that's a really stupid question, and I don't have to hear it all the time, but, like, God, it really is.
Someone in my group chat was like, oh, it must be really hard for vegans, like, during this lockdown, because they can't get fresh vegetables. And I'm like, do you not eat vegetables? You know, there's like
you can still get them.
Yeah, you can still get them, and there's like tinned and frozen vegetables.
Yeah, I feel like if anything, we're eating more vegetables right now because it's like, oh, we're cooking more at home than we do normally, and so like we're just eating more of them. I feel like the whole "what do vegetarians or vegans even eat" argument is like, it's really similar to me to when, you know, men are like, how do lesbians even have sex? And it's like, what? Like, what do you mean?
You don't do that? I know, it feels like that. It's like, hey, buddy, I'm having the time of my fucking life. I'm eating a plate full of healthy food. Everything's covered in fucking olive oil. I've got my fresh bread. I'm living my quarantine diet has been gorgeous. I've been having like fucking freshly baked bread every morning. I'm living the high life. I had bruschetta this morning.
Fuck yeah.
Fuck yeah. And everyone else is like, oh, I can't cook. There's no eggs, so I can't have my omelette. Listen, buddy. Move on. Move forward.
There are
improvise. There are other things. Eat some pussy. Grow up.
True. That is like the number one thing you need during a quarantine.
Yeah.
After they talk about the raw food that they're all disgusted by, Samantha asks Carrie if she finally buggered the burger. Matt told me to ask you if this means butt sex. Because he's like, that's what that means, and it's very British. Because I was like,
asked you to ask me.
Well, he was like, Alex will know that. And I was like, I've never heard of that. Yeah.
My dad uses it all the time.
Yeah, it does.
His dad uses it all the time, which, yeah.
Yeah,
Makes sense.
it usually means butt sex. It's like, and it's quite an old phrase. You know, it's quite old fashioned, but it is very British.
So
like, it's
Bert
like saying
got pegged.
It's like saying sodomized. You know, it's like
Right. Like no one's. The only time you ever say the word sodomy is if you're singing along to a Blink-182 song. Like, let's be real. That's the only time I say it.
Oh yeah. I mean, exactly. No one says buggered. I mean, unless you're like an old Victorian man, I suppose.
Yeah, or Matt's dad.
Yeah, who is an old Victorian? Shout out to all my B words.
Yes, happy Valentine's, happy Easter to all my B words. And so Carrie says yes. She's like, yes. I buggered the burger. And they go to get seated at their table, and Carrie's kind of talking about how disappointing it is, and Samantha's like, oh, he couldn't find your clit. And Carrie's like, no, he knew what he was doing. There was just no chemistry, and it was just really quiet. And she's talking about how she could hear people getting off the train from her window, and how it's just like, it was just very awkward.
Yeah. It sounds like it wasn't, you know, what you want, where it's full of passion and so sexy. Well, I mean, when the first time you sleep with someone, that's the ideal, right? And they kind of say, like, a couple of girls say, like, oh, well, it was the first time you slept together, so, you know, it's bound to be awkward, which is a lie.
Yeah, I don't know. Like, I guess it really depends on the people, but...
I guess, but, like, I feel like it's only awkward, like, if you both never slept with anyone else. And it's kind of, you have that thing of like, oh, well, what do you like? Oh, well, I like to do this. Okay, cool, let's do that. You have that thing. But generally, like, you're both just kind of excited to get each other's clothes off. So there's still passion. At the start, there's always this sort of passion. And if you're lacking that, then there's an issue, which is the issue that they have, right?
Yes. Yeah,
he was doing everything. It sounds like he was doing everything right. There was just no chemistry, which is off.
Yeah. That'll kind of make it a little bit just like, okay. Especially
it's the opposite first time you sleep with someone, right? Like,
exactly.
There's lots of passion, but, you know, you don't know what each other likes, so it's a bit fumbly.
Yeah, and Carrie's other point is that they just hit it off so well in every other facet, so she's just really like, well, that sucks, because, like, that's the only place where things have been not great. And so... and Charlotte makes a point where she's like, well, if he's a really good kisser, then he's just gonna be like, then it'll get better. And I'm like, what? I don't understand the correlation, but okay.
No. I mean, generally, if someone's a good kisser, they're good in bed, but it's more just because you have chemistry with someone when you kiss them.
Yeah. I feel like being a good kisser doesn't necessarily mean you're going to be good in bed. However, I feel like if you're a bad kisser, you're inherently going to be bad in bed because you're not going to want to kiss the person because they suck at it. And it's just disgusting. So, yeah. But,
I mean, I was watching Unorthodox the other day, which on Netflix is a great show. And there was a sex scene in it and there was no kissing. And I was there screaming. I was like, why aren't you kissing?
I hate that. So much. Like,
how can you not kiss someone?
Yeah, like that seems important to me at least. But well, it's kind of like that. Did we already talk about this at one point? Was it in Sex and the City where they were talking about how people were like having more like sex that's less intimate or something, where it's like like a lot more people are like not looking at each other when they have sex because it's too intimate or something.
I think that was like a thing I read about, like millennials are doing a lot of doggy, so you don't look at each other.
Yeah.
I was thoroughly disgusted. If I ever get put into a doggy position, I'm like, no.
I'm just like, I don't understand like the whole, oh, let's do this so that it's less intimate. Like, what?
Yeah.
What's what you're doing, though? Like, you're
inside. If you're inside me, how are we supposed to not be intimate? I need to look into your eyes, motherfucker.
Yeah, like, what?
I mean, I saw this tweet that was like, how do people who hook up, like, just purely hook up, have sex? Like, do you start it with a handshake? Which is the question. right? How do you initiate sex without kissing? How are you doing it without, when someone moves, when you're like making out and someone like moves down, even to just, move their tongue somewhere else, I'm like, oh, have two mouths, baby.
True. You're right.
And you should say
a really good point.
One way to improve all human beings, two mouths.
True. And they need to be far enough apart that they can like do two proper jobs at once.
Yeah.
Yeah. This is also where we meet Smith, who is our himbo of the season.
He's the himbo of the entire fucking show.
Yeah, he really is.
He's a himbo. He is handsome. He is emotionally intelligent. It's debatable whether he's like intelligent, but emotionally he's intelligent.
Yeah. And he's very much just this like built, beautiful, blonde man.
Yeah.
Who's like I would say he's probably about like 30? I don't know. Like he's definitely like a solid like at least 10 years younger than Samantha.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say he's like late 20s, early 30s. He's quite young, but without being like upsettingly young.
He's not like a baby. He's like a
not
full-grown
baby.
man. Yeah.
He is a man. Yeah, he's got like sandy blonde. He looks like a surfer. Like he's got like a tan and like sandy blonde hair. And he has a cheeky smile. Very,
but then he's
very
dressed
cute.
up for his job. Like he's wearing his like, because he's like a waiter at this place. And so he's got like his whole like button up shirt. And so he's like a surfer dude, but like looks nice and doesn't look like shit. And it's like, it's really good.
Yeah, and they're all like Samantha mainly is very attracted to him. And she's like, look at his butt. And then they show his butt and it's like Hank Hill.
Yes! Exactly! It's fucking Edward, not Edward, it's fucking, what's his name? In The Lighthouse. I can't remember his real name. Robert Pattinson in The Lighthouse.
I was like, his character in The Lighthouse? I was like, how would anyone not know who Robert Pattinson is?
No, I forgot his name. It's just like, fuck, I know his name, but I just can't remember it. And I'm like, he's Edward. I don't know.
Yeah, he kind of has like if Robert Pattinson had an attractive, popular brother who was like cool, because Robert Pattinson is kind of like the sort of kid that he's just a stoner and is like kind of weird that you hang out with. And then Smith is like his cool older brother. Yeah.
Mostly just that in The Lighthouse, he has absolute Hank Hill ass. Like, it's very funny. And you do see it. It's good. I mean, it's not like
we love to see it.
It's Hank Hill, but it's very like, you still love to see it. So.
True.
Mm-hmm. But he comes by and waits on them. And then after he leaves, Samantha's like, I need a napkin to dry my seat off now.
She is like, I want to fuck this man so hard. And I this is the thing. So I accidentally played season 5, episode 2, and it said special guest James Remar, and I was like, fuck. And then I realized where I was. So I played season 6, episode 2, and I was like, oh, the good Samantha love interest.
The good one. The one we actually like. He's like the anti-Richard. Well, I don't know. Like, they're not opposites exactly, but just like, I don't know. Instead of being like old and attractive, he's like young and attractive. And
well, he's young and attractive.
Person, yeah.
He's a good person and he's not rich.
Yeah.
So he is kind of the anti-Richard.
Exactly. Yeah. It's not like he's like buying Samantha's affection with like jewelry and stuff, but also being disgusting. Like, he's very good. I love him.
Mm-hmm. And he's like, oh, I'll leave you ladies with the menu. And he brings them an amuse-bouche. And Samantha's like, I want him to amuse my bush.
Yeah. And she's so valid. This is like the most valid she's ever been.
Yeah.
Then Charlotte says she has some really exciting news because Carrie's been talking about Burger again, and she's like, I just want to distract from this. Does anyone else have anything to talk about? And which is very unlike her. You can tell things are going badly when she's like, can we please talk about someone else? And Charlotte's like, okay, my news is really important, so I need your undivided attention. I'm converting to Judaism, and they all go like completely silent, like they're just staring at her like, but you're Episcopalian.
And she's like, and she basically says, she's like, listen, I love Harry. The sex is great. He makes me laugh. I really, really like him. I want to get fucking serious about it. So I'm converting. And they're all slightly, again, I don't know, I don't want to say horrified. They're just confused.
I think they're just largely taken aback because it's Charlotte and she's the wasp. Like, she is Christian. I don't know. I think it's just like surprising to hear. But she's like, I really fell for this guy. So, yeah, that's what's happening.
Yep.
So then after we cut to Carrie and Miranda, who are going out for pizza since the raw food, they hated it.
Yeah.
And we get some good product placement here. Miranda's like, yeah, my new boyfriend, TiVo. And then Carrie's like, oh, you're ditching Steve-O for TiVo?
I wish she was dating Steve-O.
Right!
That would be better.
So fun. It would be really fun. Good for her character. Like,
yeah. Steve-O seems like a nice guy as well. Like, you know, he's sober, he's vegan. He turned his life around. Steve-O's a nice, you know, date Steve-O. See what he's up to.
Yeah.
But,
like, way better than Steve.
Way better than Steve. And then so she's like, no, TiVo TM is wonderful. It's been recording my favorite show, Jules and Mimi, which is about a black man from Brixton and a white woman. Man. Beautiful black man. This is foreshadowing for when she dates a beautiful black man in future episode. And she's like, beautiful black man from Brixton and a white woman from Hampstead Heath, which was very funny to me because obviously I'm familiar with these areas because they're in London.
Yeah.
And like I've been to Brixton a lot. There are a lot of black people in Brixton because it was kind of like a settling place when there was when a lot of people came over from the Caribbean. So there are a lot of black people in Brixton. And I guess there are a lot of white people in Hampstead Heath. Like, I don't know too much about Hampstead Heath. I know there's a big park, and I believe there is a lot of cruising that goes on there. I don't know if that still happens, but she's like, I don't know what that means, but apparently there's conflict. So yeah. Also, I am a British mixed race person with a black dad and a white mother. So you know, it hit close to home.
Weren't you expecting this to be a period piece?
Yes! And then it turns out it's not. And I Googled it because I was like, maybe this is a show that like, because a lot of British shows are not, like, they're not really in the culture, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Like, I feel like if you're in America, you'll mention Sex and the City and everyone will be like, oh yes, I know Sex and the City or Buffy or something. Like, you'll mention a show and people will know what it is. But in the UK, because everything runs for like maybe a season and has 6 episodes, it doesn't really have a big cultural landmark. Yeah. So I was like, oh, maybe that was a real show and I just forgot about it. And obviously it's not. But I Googled it and it was based on some show called Bob and Rose, which was also, I had never fucking heard of. But it was about like a gay man and a woman who had like an on and off relationship. I don't know how that worked.
Okay.
Yeah, British TV is weird. But I would like to see Jules and Mimi. It sounds like an interesting show. It
looked interesting. I was kind of like surprised she hadn't watched all of it because it was a British show. I was like, oh, like you didn't TiVo all the episodes already? Like, are they just not out yet?
Oh, you can't, there's no Netflix, you can't binge watch this?
Well, she was recording them, so I was like, oh, well, if there's only like 6 episodes, then she's probably watched most of them by now.
Yeah, but I guess they release them weekly.
That's true. That's true.
Unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah, British TV is weird. It's fucking weird. There are so many shows which have existed for like approximately 6 or 12 episodes. And no one ever brings them up. They'll be like, if you bring them up, people will remember them, be like, oh, that was amazing. Like, but no one, it's not a major like cultural fucking touchstone.
Yeah.
There was a show, what was it called? Desmond's Place or something? Or Desmond's? There was like, I think it might have been set in Brixton and was like in the 90s. So maybe they got it from there, the Brixton thing. I don't know. But it was like a sitcom set in a barbershop in Brixton, I think.
Okay. Yeah, I wouldn't have heard of it. The only British shows I've heard of are like the big ones. Yeah,
like it had an all-black cast and was like very influential. But you only know about it if you're me and the type of person who like researches fucking black British shit because you're black and British, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
But yeah, and she's like, it's my favorite show, and you know, and the way she talks about it does make it sound like a period piece because she's like, they're finally gonna have sex.
Yeah, I was really thinking, especially since she put the emphasis on the fact that it was like an interracial relationship, that it was like gonna be set in like, I thought he was gonna be wearing like a poofy shirt.
Oh, I would love a poofy shirt.
It would have been very good.
This is the one for the horror fans, like the flashbacks in Candyman.
I haven't seen that, but I'm gonna need to like see what that looks like later.
Well, like, because the mythology, the mythos of Candyman is that he was like a free person because he's black, and he was like free, and he had an affair with a white woman. And then there are like flashbacks in the movie where he's wearing like a poofy shirt.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Poofy.
I'm into that.
I love a poofy shirt.
I can fuck with that.
Me too.
Always. If I want a romance, I want it to be period. I want there to be yearning and touching and, you know, stolen glances and like just like a hand graze so I can go, you know.
Yeah. I mean, there has to be like intensity to it.
Yeah.
So, that is a good way to do it, to make it just set in a different period, I guess.
Yeah. But no, it's just the UK and we're behind 50 years, so an interracial relationship is like scandalous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they live in like an apartment complex. It's like extremely not what I was expecting. But yeah, Carrie kind of uses this as an excuse to steer back to her because she's like, because Miranda's like, oh, they're going to have great sex. And Carrie's like, oh, good for them. I wish that was me. And Miranda is just still trying to convince her that things are going to get better with Berger. And then we go to Carrie asking her question. She's writing about Sexpectations. And her question is, why is it always something?
Which is like so vague.
Possibly the most broad question she's ever asked on this show. Why is it always something?
Why is it always something?
Why is it always something?
What does that mean? This entire fucking show, there is always fucking something, right?
There is.
You date a guy and then there's something that is wrong with him, or there's something that's wrong with you, or there's something that's wrong with the relationship. Why are you asking this question now, Carrie?
Why is she asking it at all? They really didn't need to have a question in this episode because she doesn't come back to it again ever. There's no point where she's like, oh, it turns out we fixed the problem. Like, that's just how television works. Yeah. So, I don't know.
It's
what
like,
do you mean?
It's like Tom and Jerry. Just fucking reset at the end of each episode and there's a new fucking thing in town.
There is always something. I gotta admit, even in real life, not just in TV, there is always something.
Yes.
So, right now it just happens to be, you know, a virus. But
yeah, right now it's Corona time.
Why is it always? Why does there always have to be something?
There always has to be something stopping me from finding love. And right now it's the fact that there is a pandemic. And if I go outside and get sick, I live with my parents and my dad will die. So I have to choose between getting laid and possibly killing my father or not.
Yeah.
So, you know, Like, there's always something.
Normal choices that one has to make. So
Yeah. It's like, do I possibly make my and presumably hundreds of people's life worse by going outside? Or do I just stay in and play The Sims?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I mean, I hear there are still people who are like fucking around, and honestly, I will glass them. I will glass you.
Yeah. It's wild. Like, I have luckily not seen a whole lot of it, but I know they're there. I know they're out there, and it's like, just truly get fucked.
Yeah, I mean that the kids like in my street are playing outside, and like I can't really complain about that because I'm like, if I were their parents, I'd be like, yeah, fuck it, go outside, because you have to homeschool your kids and keep them in 24 hours. It's still bad, but they do just seem to be playing like in the street with each other.
Yeah,
but if you're a grown fucking adult and you're going to like meet your friends for drinks, you're a dickhead.
Yeah, like I don't understand how that's comprehensible to people, or how they're like, yeah, I'm still gonna go to church this week because like it's fine sitting in like a big room with like a bunch of people. That's just totally normal and not gonna be a really bad thing to do.
Yeah. I mean, I feel like you're letting your child play outside for 30 minutes is like not the most evil thing to do when you know, but assuming they're not immunocompromised and no one in your house is immunocompromised, fine. Yeah. But yeah, just dicking around outside with your mates because you're bored.
Maybe don't.
No. Play a video game like a normal person.
Have a wank. Do that. Like, what are you? It's like not a gamer? Like,
yeah, are you not a gamer? Are you not playing video games? All I'm doing is playing video games, jerking off, and doing my homework. It's like I'm 14 again.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm mostly just playing Animal Crossing like 10 hours a day. So it's fine. I'm normal.
Yeah.
Then, okay, so we go to Miranda deciding what to watch on TiVo, and this is where we get the clip of Jules and Mimi, and we get the like, oh, isn't TiVo so great? She can fast forward through all this bullshit she doesn't want to see to skip right to the part she wants to be at, and she's just so into it.
She is like, oh yeah, baby. She's like, get rid of it. And then he's standing there and he's like, oh, hello, Mimi. I'm not wearing a shirt. And she's like, oh, why aren't you wearing a shirt? And he said, oh, the heating's broken, which doesn't make any sense because British places don't have air conditioning. We just have heating. So that would mean his house was cold. In which case, why is your shirt off?
Incredible question. I guess just for the plot.
Yeah.
The heater read the script and said, I'm gonna stop working. And yeah, she loves it. And Miranda is watching this like I watch Riverdale. Like, she's got her drink and she's basically just like popcorn, like staring, like, this is so good. This is the best shit I've ever seen in my life.
She is titillated. I love it. Mm-hmm. But that's pretty much it. And then we go to Charlotte, don't we?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, and Charlotte goes to the synagogue and she's like, I'm here to see the rabbi.
After she says shalom to the custodian.
Yeah. She's like, shalom. I'm here to see the rabbi. And he's like, okay, he's upstairs. So she goes upstairs and she knocks on the door of his office and he just like slams it in her face when she's like, hello, I'm Charlotte York. I'd like to convert. And then she knocks again and like another rabbi opens the door and she's like, hi, I just dealt with a very rude man. My name is Charlotte York and I would like to convert to Judaism. And he slams the door again.
Yep, she just gets fucking shut out.
Yeah.
And then we learn, like, in the next scene, she goes home and she's talking to Harry while she's just, like, getting dressed in their room. Or, they don't live together yet, in her room, I guess. And she's like, I don't know why it's so hard Like, why are they making this so difficult for me? And Harry's like, first of all, it's sexy that you're doing this. Second of all, it's tradition that they're going to turn you down 3 times to know that you're really serious. And so just expect that they're going to do this, which it would have been nice if he had told her this before, but maybe she just took this, like, you know, on her own thing. And she was like, I'm going to do this without telling him, which is fine. Mean,
also, like, maybe he could have gone with her.
I was thinking that too. I was thinking, like, first of all, is this like the synagogue that Harry goes to? Like, is this his rabbi? Because I would have thought the best course of action would be to go with Harry to his rabbi to talk about her converting. But she just went to a synagogue and talked to a rabbi. It seems.
Which, like, for all she knows, practices an entirely different version of what Harry practices. So, like, it feels like she should go with him. I mean, if she just of her own volition decided to convert, then all means go by yourself. But it does feel kind of weird. I just assumed Harry would go with her and be like, this is my girl.
Maybe this is like, maybe she knows this is his synagogue, but she just didn't ask him to come with her. Like, that seems to make the most sense, because otherwise, like, there are obviously a lot of different, like, branches. There's so many different synagogues that she could go to that are all going to be different. So,
it's a bit much. But he, like, pulls her. She's wearing this, like, see-through, like, what is it called?
It's like a slip. Bralette type thing.
Yeah, she has, like, a slip, though, like a see-through skirt that she's wearing, like, a thong underneath. And he's like, oh, my God, I want to fuck you right now.
Yeah.
It's great. I love Harry.
It's very good. And Charlotte is turned on by the perspective of being challenged. Like, that the rabbi is, like, going to challenge her to do this 3 times, and she's like, oh, I invented this game. I'm gonna fucking knock this out of the park.
Yeah, she says, no man turns down Charlotte York.
Oh.
I'm gonna, like, don't worry about it. We'll get it sorted, babe.
And I'm like, I believe you. You're determined. You're gonna get this done. So that's that for now. And then we go back to Miranda, and Magda's like, Taylor Swift voice, I did something bad. And then she does a slut drop. No, just kidding. She says, well, Miranda's like, Brady, I just went and checked on him, and he was fine. And Magda's like, no. Miranda realizes that she was talking about the TiVo. Magda sat on the remote and deleted all of the programs from her recordings.
Yeah, which apparently you can do by just sitting on it. She got a fat ass though, I'm sure.
Yeah, like queen. But Miranda is devastated. Like, she basically does fucking Anakin Skywalker. No. Yeah.
No.
She's, like, devastated by this. It's like, she has basically lost everything.
Yeah.
TiVo was her only thing. So.
Yeah, and she has a I mean, TiVo is her boyfriend. TiVo, I'm your girl.
Yeah.
In the words of Leakley. That's what she was thinking about, right?
I think so. I think it was about TiVo.
Yeah. It was about TiVo.
Mm-hmm.
And then we go to Carrie, who is, like, trying to manifest burger calling. And then he does.
Yep.
Yeah, he's like, oh, hey, Carrie. Sorry I haven't called. I have the same excuse as everyone. There was a raccoon in my fucking, whatever. It's like, shut up. I hate... Men aren't funny, and they shouldn't be allowed to make jokes.
I hate it. It's so annoying. And she's basically like, she's like, hey, why don't you come over again? And then he does, and they bone, but it's the exact same as the first time. Mm-hmm. And, her comment is about, her voiceover is like, how can 2 people be so good in bed when they're in not the same bed, like on the phone together, but so bad when they're in the same bed together? And it's like, I don't know. Figure it out. It's not my problem.
I don't care.
I don't. Like, Carrie, I don't care. Then we go back to, so now we're with Samantha and Carrie, and they're shopping together, and Samantha's like, dump him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
She's right.
Yeah. And and then like the saleswoman comes over to Samantha and she's like, I need something that will make a guy come in his pants as soon as he sees me. And the salesperson goes, coming right up.
I love that so much. I mean, they are in like, it seems like they're in a lingerie shop.
Yeah.
Or something. Because everything is very, yeah. She's just smile on her face. Absolutely. I got you covered.
It's like that. What was that Vine? She's like, yeah, I need something. This guy walks in the room. He's like, yeah, I need something that'll make my girl bust it open for me. And then the server goes, oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's the same.
It's the same energy. I love it.
Mm-hmm. Carrie's just like, I don't want to dump Burger. Like, I really like him. I'm that's not the solution here. And Samantha's like, okay, we'll turn up the heat. And she shows her this like fluffy shoe. Carrie's just like, okay, I don't wear fluffy shoes. You know that. Samantha's like, no, this is for him.
Yeah. It's like, I'm trying to help you here. But I mean, she kind of has a point. Because I feel like Carrie does a lot of, like, blaming him. Be like, the sex with him was bad. It's like, okay, well, maybe make a bit of an effort.
There were 2 of you there. So, like, yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And they see this, like, I guess it's like a bodysuit. It's kind of like a thong that goes that is, like, connected to a bra. Looks very painful, very flossy.
It does look very flossy. It's it's like that's got to be the right size, otherwise it's just gonna be like tight.
Mm-hmm.
And
you have to be like slim, very slim to pull that off.
Yeah,
because any lump and bump and you just look like someone's wrapped a meat in twine.
It's definitely gonna be like you want it to be skin tight, but not so skin tight that like all of your other skin just pops out of it. It seems like an awkward fit, but yeah. And then Carrie's last thing of this scene is she's like, wait, do you think Burger actually thought it was good? Like, do you think that's the problem, is that he thought it was good? Which we find out later is not true.
Yeah.
But
yeah, she has a panic of like, what if that was good for him and it will only get worse?
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's a good question, because I mean they haven't talked about it, so could be.
Yeah, could be. And well, she's basically saying like maybe we should just talk about it and sort of have a conversation. And Samantha's like, absolutely don't do that. And I'm a big proponent of talking. I don't know if saying that was shit after you have sex with someone is really a talking time.
Yeah. I mean, there's times to talk about it. I feel like there's ways to talk about it. It's not so much what you're saying, it's how you're saying it, I think. And, like, there's definitely ways where she could be like, oh no, but like this is, like, why don't you try doing this? Or something. Or I don't know. Like, there's things that she could say that don't totally kill it. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
But,
yeah, there's ways she could do it. However, it's definitely an awkward conversation.
Oh, for sure.
And then, yeah, Samantha's like, oh, I want to get this, please, the little piece of floss that is pink. And Carrie's like, make it 2. And these shoes in a size 7.
Yeah, she gets them.
And then she's looking at pink shoes, but she gets red ones. Very disturbing to me.
I was like, this seems weird. Like, it does not seem like her style to be getting the red ones, but okay. Sure.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Then we get to Miranda, who's on the phone with the TiVo people, and she's fucking yelling, like, negative points for Miranda. And, like, I get that she's frustrated, but she is just yelling and going off at this poor customer service person who, like, is probably giving her valid instructions, but she's just doing it wrong. Like, she's so upset, and she's like, I'm sorry for yelling. Like, this is my everything. And, like, the person just tries to give her the same advice again, and she's like, it's not helping. I tried that. Like, she's gotta be doing this wrong. TiVo is not that complicated.
Yeah, and like I mean, the whole joke is that she's arguing like she's talking to a lover, but she's like, why are you so stupid? Which is completely unnecessary.
You would never say that to a customer service person. Like, at least if you're a human being and not a complete ghoul. Like, and we know Miranda's not a ghoul, so I don't know. It's just, it's contrived.
Yeah, it's a lot. But I mean, it's a funny joke.
Yeah, I guess. Then we go to Carrie and Burger again. They're out for dinner again. Carrie's titties are popping.
They are popping. Okay, so we see like a full look of her outfit. It's not very sexy. But the lingerie underneath is very nice, which is like kind of poking out. But her outfit is just like very shapeless and flowy and grey.
Yeah, it's not that sexy.
I wouldn't really wear if I was trying to seduce someone, but go off.
Yeah.
And she's like leaning over and like pushing her boobs together, and she's like, ah ha ha ha. And then the server comes over and says, oh, it's 2 for 1 frozen margaritas. And she's like, let's get 'em when in Rome, ha ha. Because she says that she can only talk dirty when she's drunk. So presumably she thinks she'll have better sex if she's wasted.
I guess so. Like, maybe she thinks she'll be, like, more carefree. I have no idea. But she's already being, like, extremely... She's just being way too much right now. It's so awkward to watch. Like, she's trying way too hard. And like, read the room. Burger is completely just like, okay? Like, are you okay?
It's weird. It's a lot.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, she's like really like making sure he can see that she's wearing lingerie.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Like, I've never seen Carrie's tits pop this much before.
No, they're like whole new tits.
Yeah.
And then we go to Charlotte, and she shows up at the rabbi's house, with some kosher wine, and he like closes the door again. Which, how did she find this man's house?
I don't know. I mean, maybe this is back when like people still used phone books, and maybe his address was in there. Maybe, but it still seems a little weird.
It's a little weird.
Yeah, she bangs on the door, and a woman answers, and she's basically just like, sorry, the rabbi can't help you right now, and she just barges the fuck in, and she's like, look, I am 37 years old, and I am in love with a Jewish man, and I do not have time for this bullshit.
Yeah. She's like, I have fertility issues. I do not have time, buddy. I need to get fucking pregnant with some babies, and I would like them to be Jewish babies. So let's talk. And then she like realizes that it's Shabbat, and everyone's over for dinner.
Yep.
So
there's like
just
a whole bunch of kids.
There's a whole bunch of kids. There's a whole fucking family there. It's kind of awkward. So the rabbi comes over and he says, honey, you want to be Jewish? That's great. But it's the fucking Sabbath. We're having dinner. Sit down, Nate.
Yep.
And she's like, oh, well, I was supposed to meet my boyfriend. And he just stares at her. Like,
yeah. She's like, oh, I'll cancel. I'll just cancel and stay. And then they do like a prayer. And at the end of it, she says, amen. Completely sincerely.
The way she said it so sincerely made me literally spit all over my computer screen.
Yeah, like she just thought that was the thing to say. It's very funny.
It's great. I mean, listen, hats off for trying. Yeah.
Yeah, she's there making the effort. So, and then we make a quick scene back at Raw again. And there's other women there who are also there to stare at Smith and try to seduce him. It's not just Samantha. But right now, Samantha,
every woman in the restaurant is there for Smith.
Uh-huh. Oh, yeah. It's really good. We go back to Miranda before we see Samantha again, but just like, this is, I guess, the setup to that, where there's a bunch of women there, and eventually they will start to like peter out, where there's like fewer and fewer women until it's like the Smith Hunger Games or something. Like, they're literally gonna kill each other until Samantha's the only one left.
Yeah.
And then, we go back to Miranda, she gets home and finds that Steve has fixed the TiVo problem. And she's like,
I love you.
Yeah, she's like, you fixed it. I love you. I love you for doing this. You know what I mean? Like, and Steve's like, all right, well, I gotta leave for a dinner thing. And Miranda's sad because she still loves Steve. And it's like, okay.
They have a child together.
Yeah.
I don't think it's weird to say I love you.
Yeah, they've also just known each other for long enough that even if it was just, like, as friends,
yeah, it
would be normal. I don't know, but...
I mean, I say I love you to my friends constantly.
Yeah.
But, yeah, and then... So she's, like, ready to watch Jules and Mimi the morning after. She's fucking pumped. I respect her for this.
Me too. She's just, like, so happy to have her shows.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Her stories.
And
and then...
at this point, you probably could have just downloaded TV, but I'm sure she doesn't know how to do that at this time.
What the fuck is a torrent?
Well, not with torrents, but, like, you would have been using just, like, a fucking shitty computer program that's going to give you, like, 10 viruses.
Yeah.
But.
Yeah, true. And it would take ages.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Big time. But it's worth it to see your Jules and Mimi. So,
yeah,
you know. Then we're back at Raw again. And so, like, a few more of the women have left at this point. But everyone is so fucking horny. They're, like, gonna kill each other. Like, this other woman is eating an apple from across the room, just menacingly looking at Samantha as she's eating it. And then, like, Smith comes to Samantha's table and she just, as she's talking to them, she just unbuttons her top button and then her bra is poking out.
Yeah, well, it's not her bra is poking out. She unbuttons her blouse and then the other woman unzips her, like, sweater.
Yeah.
Which, it is so obvious. It's so obvious. And then Smith goes, so Smith goes to the other woman and he's like, oh, can I get you anything? And she says, oh, that key lime pie or whatever. And he goes to go get it. And Samantha says, listen, you don't know who the fuck you're dealing with. So how about I pay for your dinner and you let me fuck him? And the woman's like, okay, deal. And then zips her top back up.
Yep, it's really good. I mean, okay, if I was, like, in her position and Samantha came up to me and said that, I would be like, yeah, fine.
Yeah.
Like, it's Kim fucking Cattrall. Like, yeah. Like, we know who's winning here. So, take the L.
Take the L, get a free dinner, and fuck someone else. It's not that hard.
Yeah, exactly. And, yeah. So, I'm happy for Samantha here. Then we go back to Carrie and Berger. They arrive home extremely drunk from their margaritas.
Yes.
It's Carrie's, like, struggling to take her clothes off.
Yeah, I mean, she can't even stand up straight, and, like, Berger can barely sit up straight. Like, she throws a shoe at his face, and he doesn't even react.
Yeah. And
they're not in any place to be fucking.
No, and he just passes out on the bed, and then she just, like, falls the fuck over trying to put on her, like, fluffy red shoes. It's just like, okay, no, this is just a disaster. And so they end up they don't have sex. But Samantha does. This is like, holy shit. They do every position that is possible, I think. The noises are so much. We get kind of a side titty tally.
We do. Yeah, it's like a, far away titty tally. They do every position possible, including ones I didn't know existed. Or, like, just straight up don't look like they'll do anything comfortable or fun. Including they put a chair on the bed and then fuck on the chair on the bed. Like, just fuck on the chair.
It was weird. There's, like, one where Samantha's like, oh, fuck, I can't remember exactly what it is, but she's, like, I think she's, like, kind of, like, doing, like, a weird, like, she has her, like, ass up in the air and then he's sitting on it facing backwards. And I'm like, this doesn't seem like it's comfortable for your dick. And it also just really seems like it would be really hard to do for longer than, like, 5 seconds.
Yeah.
But they do everything you can possibly do.
Pretty much. Yeah.
Yeah,
They do all the fucking.
They do all of it. And then the next morning, Smith is like, oh, I tried to go home with you last Tuesday. And Samantha's like, now you tell me this? I ate a fucking cactus to be there for you.
This is going to be me as soon as lockdown is over.
Yeah.
We're doing everything.
Just everything. Yeah.
Everything. I don't have the time. I need to. I am dying, squirrel.
Yeah. Pretty much. Then, okay, so that's the end of Samantha. The rest of it is all Carrie. Carrie is like, well, Samantha was still having sex. It dawned on me that Burger and I never did. And, her voiceover is just like, okay, this is now or never. Like, we both knew that we needed to figure the fuck out what we're doing. And Burger's just like, okay, this is awful.
Yeah.
I'm better than this. I'm good at this. I need to fix this. Which Carrie is like relieved to hear.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
He's like, I'm awful, and he says, they're like, oh, well, we're so good in restaurants, so he's like, let's make the bed more like a restaurant, and he gets some salt and pepper, because that's all Carrie has in her cupboards.
It's incredible, and by incredible I mean terrible.
Mm-hmm.
But she does like throw the salt over her shoulder, like for good luck. But I'm like, it's in your bed now, you've got salt in your bed. But then they're like, okay, we're gonna talk about it, and we'll figure it out. We'll talk about it. And then they just like pounce on each other and go to Bone Town.
Yeah.
And the other shoe dropped, and her shoe falls on the floor. Do you get it? And Carrie was like, it was hot. So I guess it's finally good now.
Yeah. It's good. It's good. Everything is perfect.
And that's the episode. Says a lot. I liked this episode for the most part. I feel like the rankings are kind of easy this week. Like, to me, Carrie's at the bottom just because I don't give a shit about this plot at all. Then probably Miranda, because it's like, her plot was funny, but it was very, like, I don't know, it's fine. It was funny, but, like, I didn't care about it that much. And then I think I'll put Charlotte second. And I'm going to put Samantha at the top this week because I just forgot how fucking funny that one sex scene is. It like genuinely is just delightful to me. It's so funny.
It's great. I would agree. Really. I would say, the same. Because Charlotte, like, you know, she's going on a spiritual journey, and Samantha's getting the fucking dicked down. I respect that. So, yeah.
Absolutely. Big same. So those are our rankings. We don't have any questions this week, but if you want to send us questions, you can send them to citygirlsmakedo.tumblr.com/ask. And we can read those for next week.
Do you have the trivia?
I do have trivia. I do. So I have a few questions from my Sex and the City trivia calendar to ask you today.
Ooh.
Okay. So the first one, which main character was often identified as an impossibly awful human in blog posts in the show's afterlife? Carrie, Miranda, Charlotte, or Samantha?
Carrie?
Yep.
She's the only one that is, impossibly awful. Like, I would say Charlotte is a very realistic awful.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, that she's a Republican. But Carrie is like she's a different beast.
She's just something. Okay, so true or false? The show hired someone to be a straight male script consultant.
I kind of want to say true.
So
is that
the
true?
one token straight guy on set during the first season had moved on to another show. So straight comedian Greg, how do you say this? Barrett, was hired to make sure men weren't objectified as much in the show's fantasy vision of single womanhood.
Oh, fuck that. Objectify men. They can handle it.
Objectify them. Like, just do it. Okay, so Here's another one. The scenes in which Carrie types her columns and muses, often beginning with her signature phrase, "I couldn't help but wonder," were noted in the scripts with these words. So there's 4 choices. So A, Carrie smokes and types. B, Carrie ponders her column. C, solo Carrie wrap up. Or D, Carrie contemplates the episode.
Ooh, I'm torn between B and D because she doesn't smoke in everyone.
Smoke was
B.
A.
Yeah, she doesn't smoke in everyone, so it can't be that. I would say B.
It is actually Carrie smokes and types.
Oh, that's a good one.
She smokes in some of them, but okay. Oh, this is a really good one. Okay. Sex and the City was considered deeply flawed by many when it came to the issues of blank and blank, so that 2 of these are correct. A, sexual orientation, B, race, C, class, and D, feminism.
It's all of them.
But there's only 2 that are right.
Why are you giving me impossible questions? Because it's all of them. I'm going to say sexuality and race.
Oh, one of those is right. So, apparently they were considered deeply flawed in the issues of race and class.
Okay, yeah, I guess the race thing kind of carries on more because, like, there are no black people, apart from, like, a handful, a very small handful. Mm-hmm. And also, I mean, it's New York. There's, like, no Latino people, no Latinx, I should say. There are no Asian people. There's nothing. You're in the most racially diverse city, and there's zilch. Everyone is white. And then I guess class, yeah, they're all rich as fuck. But, I mean, it's all of them at the end of the day.
Yeah, that's really one where, like, I'm actually surprised that that's one of the answers because, like, it's true for sure. Yeah. But, like, I don't know if they've ever really... I don't know. I feel like there hasn't been a whole lot of discourse about that with the show in terms of like with sexual orientation. There's obviously like a couple or like that, especially the bisexual episode that comes to mind. That's like, holy shit, they did this real bad. But
yeah,
I guess,
I guess they do have gay characters, and like that was kind of a thing back in the like they show gay people as humans more or less, but they kind of are very stereotypical and like. Just accessories to the straight women, but maybe that's a bit deep.
Yeah, true. Yeah, I kind of feel like at the time they were probably praised for most of the like gay representation because at the time it really was, you know, cis gay men, and that was pretty much it. Like lesbians who, like other sexualities who, like, but yeah, no, that was pretty much. That's not super surprising. Yeah.
But it's not, but like it is all of them. You got another one?
Oh yeah, like they didn't do a good job. But yeah, I have 2 more. So, okay, which of the following trendy items is not credited with getting a major kickstart or revival after its appearance on Sex and the City? A, cupcakes. B, nameplate necklaces. C, glittery tube tops. Or D, unicorn bracelets.
The fuck is a unicorn bracelet?
I have no fucking idea what a unicorn bracelet is.
Okay, well, nameplate necklace, yes, I'm wearing one right now. The cupcakes, there is that cupcake place that was very famous from the show. I'm gonna say glittery tube tops.
It's actually the unicorn bracelets. I don't know what that is. To me, I read unicorn bracelet and it just reminds me of like the plastic bracelets people used to wear in middle school that were like apparently supposed to be code for like what kind of sexual things you've done before.
Oh, yeah.
But that's what I think
We called them shag bands.
I love that.
I don't know. I mean, I thought maybe that was like a trick question and like unicorn bracelets was like a very small fad. But
no idea.
No, don't wear a glittery tube top. I guess Carrie does wear a tube top every now and again, but like glittery tube tops will just scratch your armpits to fuck.
I just really don't remember ever seeing that in the show, but I guess so. I mean, I just haven't paid enough attention to the tube tops, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay, so the last one is another true or false. And it has a long answer, okay? True or false? Although he had left the show after a few years into its run, Sex and the City creator Darren Star said the series ending was just as he'd imagined it from the beginning.
True.
It's actually false.
Oh.
Star said he felt the ending betrayed what the show was about. The series, he said, was supposed to be about women not being defined by men. They could fall in love with men, but the message should not be about finding fulfillment with one.
Okay. T.
Right. So maybe the ending should have been different. Maybe.
The ending should be she slits Big's throat and fucking pushes him into the river. But
yeah, she could. It should have been that. She should have had a murder. Like, it's HBO. Like, they can do violence.
that would be kind of like amazing if the last episode was like full horror and she's like Carrie is secretly a serial killer.
They could have just been way ahead of like the Gone Girl curve with the like white woman violence fantasy thing against the man. Yeah.
I know. I mean, listen, I've never been pro white women, but I'm pro any woman slitting a man's throat. I'm down with that.
Especially if it's Neil Patrick Harris's. I'm kind of like, that was fun to watch. So, like,
I remember watching that movie and being like, yes, queen, I came for the right fucking movie. I was in a webinar with Rosamund Pike the other day. It was great. And my hot tea, she didn't really give that much tea. It was very professional. But she did say that when she was filming Gone Girl, like for the close-ups, they replaced Ben Affleck with like a small rubber chicken.
What?
Yes.
Why?
Because you need like something to look at in your eye line. And like if he couldn't be there or if he couldn't, because the cameras are quite big. So like if he couldn't be in the shot, then they just stick a chicken, like a rubber. I think if she said chicken, it might have been a rubber duck. But anyway, they'd stick it to the side of the camera for her to look at and pretend it was Ben Affleck.
Okay. That makes sense. I was thinking just like they did it because like Ben Affleck would have had his feelings hurt or something, so they didn't want her to say it like directly to his face. I have no idea. That makes more sense. But okay. That's my last trivia for this week. I'll try to remember to bring more for next time because some of them are really good. Especially just because the answers, you never know what the answer is gonna be because they don't make sense half the time. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
They don't. I feel bad whenever I answer one of them wrong, but also they don't make any sense.
They really don't. Like, how are you supposed to know that people didn't think the show did a bad job with sexuality? Because it did. So how are you supposed to know that that's not the answer?
Yeah. I mean, it did, honey. And it's like, a lot of them are just opinion questions.
They are a lot of opinion questions. Yeah. Which is like some of the funniest ones because the answers are so fucking stupid. But I love it. I love to read them. So I'll grab more for next time. I guess we can do Patreon now. So, we're on Patreon. If you want to donate to us, you can go to patreon.com/citygirlsmakedo to donate. If you give us $1 a month, you're a haymower. You get a special role in the Discord. You get access to any content we release that's bonus, like the Mummy Mailbag or the Keanu podcast. So there's 3 episodes of that out now. The last one we did was Much Ado About Nothing. And we had a really fun time recording that one. Really recommend listening to it.
Yeah, it was it's a good movie. I think it was a good episode. Check it out.
It's good. I think all the episodes we've done so far have been extremely fun to record. So definitely give it a listen. The next one we're doing is Bill and Ted for April. So that'll be out sometime this month. You also at the $1 level get access to the secret Discord channel of Looker and Nanu picks. So if you're not in the Discord yet, jump into it. There's links on all of our like social media and stuff. So if you want to join the Discord, you gotta be there. At the $5 level, you get access to everything from the $1 level. You get an even specialer Discord role. You get a shout out on the podcast every week, and you can submit stuff for Steve Voice if you would like. And at the $10 level, you are Mr. Big Spender. And at that level, you get all the previous rewards, plus an even specialer Discord role. Plus, you can listen to us record live every week if you want to. So do that. And so I can read the patron list now. So we have Alex Schaup, Jennifer Snyder, Matt Ribeiro, Jess Ialachi, Summer Geist, Pierre the Disaster, and Siberian Pine Hardwood. So thank you all for your generous donation. We really appreciate it. And we hope you've enjoyed all the content that you've been getting. That's pretty much it.
If you don't, tough shit.
It's to me, it's good. And we've also, we've had most weeks had our $10 donor listening to us, which is really good. Even for the Keanu episode too, which was nice. And I think the Keanu has been very fun. I just love to get to watch a movie every once in a while. It's just fun for me.
We did do a cat stream as well. Which
stream.
It wasn't a Patreon thing, but it was just it was a friends thing. If you're in the Discord, you're friends of the show, and we like to hang out.
Yeah, I'd like to do more of that too. So that was Cats 1998. I don't know. We could do something else next time. We did talk about doing cabaret.
Oh yes, we are two ladies.
We are.
Yeah.
We keep forgetting to do the money thing for the Patreon. just every time we read it, money. Next time, maybe. But so join the Discord because we do stuff like that periodically and it'd be fun to have you there. So.
Yes. Yeah. And when the world's falling to shit, go to the cabaret, which you can't do. Yeah,
you can't do that.
No.
But the movie does have other good themes for some of the other bullshit in the world right now. So
true.
But yeah, so that's the podcast for this week. So if you want to find me elsewhere, you can find me on Twitter at Age of Oddish and on Tumblr at Windfall Island.
Yeah, and you can find me on Tumblr at Dork Phoenix and Twitter at Alex the Virgo.
Fuck yeah. If you want to add me on Animal Crossing, my Switch code is on my Tumblr somewhere. So add me on Animal Crossing and we can be friends.
Yeah. If you want to add me on Animal Crossing, please donate £300 to me. So I will buy a Switch and Animal Crossing and then I'll add you on it.
Yes. Do that.
Yeah.
Please.
Yeah. Just do it anyway. I need to play it.
Do it. Yeah. You deserve it.
Do it. I do. That's the thing.
Yeah. So thank you for listening again, and we'll see you next week. Mohe every day, folks.
Fuck cops.
Fuck
so
cops.
Long, good night.
So long and good night. And fucking kiss Keanu square on the lips.
Mwah.
Mwah. Bye, gamers.
Bye.